Well, good morning and welcome to our latest Solutions for Success seminar series. My name is Mark McGill. I'm the Director of Member Relations here at the South Bend Regional Chamber. I want to welcome you to a very special Solutions for Success today. We'll talk to Garrett Kuhn, a social media expert and account executive at Villing & Company, talking LinkedIn. If you ask around, they say that LinkedIn is the new Facebook. It's becoming the most popular social media platform, certainly for business, but for personal growth too. So Garrett will kind of tell us how to unlock the tools and give us some insights needed to unlock LinkedIn's full potential for both your business and your personal growth. We'll talk to Garrett in a second. Couple of quick housekeeping things I want you to be aware of. Our website, of course, is fantastic for all of our events at sbrchamber.com. All of our ribbon cuttings are listed on there. If you're into big giant scissors, we've got many chances for you to see them in use. Do want to point out that September 17th is our next member briefing. It's a virtual member briefing. Our president and CEO Jeff Ray will kind of be the conduit there, but every single department within the chamber, from Visit South Bend, Mishawaka, Economic Development, 40 under 40, they will all be on that call, and we'll just kind of give you an overview of everything happening within the chamber. And of course, you can ask questions there. And then our next business after hours, September 25th at Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Center, OSMC. They want to show off the new surgery center in St. Joseph County and a partnership with the Beacon Health System. Again, go to the website, sbrchamber.com, for more information on that and to get signed up. We love seeing you at our business after hours. We work real hard to make them special and fun and great networking events, and so we hope to see you on the 25th. Everything that we're talking about today, everything you see on the website, none of that is made possible without our great partners, and SYM Financial is really a terrific chamber partner. They help support the golf outing. They are the sponsor that bring you the virtual seminar series. And Evan Stark is here from SYM. I want to give Evan a chance to just say hi, kind of tell them a little bit about the SYM, and thank them again for their amazing support and partnership with the chamber. Evan, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much for the introduction and the gracious comments about our ability to partner with the chamber. We're always grateful to be a part of a community of awesome businesses. Get to hear from people like Garrett today and learn things that we wouldn't otherwise learn. Just that kind of community of sharing that helps grow really all of us, which is rising tides in all ships and all that. So. Yeah, SYM Financial Advisors is a regionally based but nationally recognized independent financial services provider. So we do investment management and financial planning. We also manage qualified plans. Unique in that field, we actually manage over 114 qualified plans. That's your 401ks, 403bs, and such, which makes us very rare. Most plans are being advised by somebody who has maybe less than 10. I think about 80% of plans or so for being advised by that. So incredible experience there, managing over $4 billion and 75 employees and growing. So we're glad to be here. If you know somebody who's got a question that even touches on finances, reach out to us. We probably got somebody who knows.
Great. Thank you. And again, thank you, Evan, for your incredible support of the chamber. We really appreciate, members like you that really get it. They maximize their membership. They support us. We support them. And so you're one of the poster children for chamber membership. So thank you for all that you do for us. You allow us to do what we do. So thank you. Okay, so there's a chat function obviously at the bottom. We're going to save all questions until the end, but Garrett has built in some time for questions. So if you have any questions throughout the presentation today, I'll keep an eye on the chat or raise your hand. But if possible, we're going to save all the questions to the end. But Garrett has built in plenty of time for us to answer questions. And without further ado, here is Garrett Kuhn, again, a social media expert and account executive at Villing & Company, another great longtime member of the chamber. We have a lot of friends in that building, and they're actually right behind us here downtown. So we're going to talk LinkedIn. Garrett, good morning. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited about our conversation today. We're going to be covering LinkedIn. I would like to thank the South Bend Regional Chamber today and today's sponsor, SYM Financial, for the opportunity to share my expertise today. Really excited to uncover some insights regarding LinkedIn best practices and how we can, help you best leverage the platform to successfully not only promote your business, but also yourself. So we'll dive right in today, and I'm very excited about all the things we're going to be covering. But first, I'd like to introduce myself a little bit before we dive into the discussion points regarding LinkedIn. So a little bit about me. I have a Bachelor of Science in Marketing from the Judd Layton School of Business and Economics. So marketing's kind of always been my gig, been a big passion of mine for the longest time. Addicted to helping businesses maximize their digital reach. I've helped many companies optimize and manage their LinkedIn pages, as well as other social channels such as Facebook, Instagram, as well as providing consultation on even platforms like TikTok. Love all things social media and content marketing. I will say a notable part of my day-to-day is content creation and social media management. It's a big passion of mine to be able to help companies successfully utilize social media to grow their visibility with their target audience. A little bit about me on a personal note. I enjoy keeping my creative spark alive by going out and soaking in the outdoors and watching movies, whether it's going to the movies, writing reviews, or attending film festivals. Movies are probably my biggest passion outside of my career. So that's a little bit about me. What we're going to cover today, we're going to talk about LinkedIn, but we're going to cover the LinkedIn landscape. So we're going to talk a bit about some 2024 LinkedIn statistics regarding how many users there are, companies on the platform, and some other stats as well that are really interesting to take a look at before we dive into the discussion points. We'll talk a bit about optimizing your business page. So we'll outline things regarding your brand promotion. Optimizing and outlining those core steps to be able to elevate your brand on this platform. We'll also outline some content do's and don'ts. We'll also outline some examples as well that will be able to provide you with the visual understanding of, how to best publish content and use it ongoing for that consistent growth effort. We'll also talk about enhancing your personal profile. LinkedIn is a great platform to be able to drive traffic to business pages by leveraging your own personal profile. So I'm really excited to outline some steps to be able to help you make sure you're optimizing your presence there as well, and the content that you will be publishing. So I'll be providing some examples as well about content do's and don'ts regarding personal profiles as well. LinkedIn advertising. I know this is a big subject, but we'll cover one of the core, one of the most utilized ad types on the platform. So we'll talk about sponsored content. We'll also talk about reporting and making sure that you're measuring your performance the best way to ensure that you're optimizing those ads on LinkedIn. So we'll dive right into the LinkedIn 2024 stats. So I will say that all of these stats that we're going to be looking at today, these are all of the latest platform statistics that are directly from LinkedIn. So you will notice as we go through that there is a significant traffic on this platform every single day, with actually the mass majority are located within the United States. Right now in the US, there's over 211 million users. And out of those users, there's 16.2% logging in and using the platform every day. So as Mark had mentioned, this platform really is kind of becoming the second Facebook. I think that a lot of people are beginning to leverage this, not only to find jobs, but to be able to promote their business, to promote their achievements, and many other things as well. There's over 67 million companies on LinkedIn today. That number is still growing. These numbers came from the 2024 statistics beginning of the year, which they'll update in 2025. But out of those 67 million companies, only 2.7 are actually posting on a weekly basis. So you'll notice that there is a notable gap between businesses that are actually on the platform compared to businesses that are actually publishing the content on a weekly basis. And with 82% of B2B marketers experiencing success on LinkedIn, this is really the go-to social channel for growing your network with other professionals and businesses to expand your company growth. So I'm really excited to be talking with all of you today with all these statistics in mind. How can we leverage this huge opportunity? So with the stats, we see that LinkedIn is underutilized when it comes to businesses using it consistently on a weekly basis, with only 4% of businesses actually using the platform on a weekly basis to publish content and connect with their audience. So So let's go through the core steps to enhance your visibility and set you up for that consistent growth on LinkedIn. First step to a successful LinkedIn page starts by optimizing your page setup. I will say this is an essential process that we always first take into consideration when we onboard our clients to manage LinkedIn pages, as well as even content creation. Many companies have their business listed on this platform, but some don't really take the time to review whether it's impactfully promoting their company and differentiators in the industry. So we'll go through step by step, what those core settings are when you're taking a look at your page or reviewing your current page setup. One of the first things is always ensuring that you have a high-res logo and custom cover image. We use our page as an example here at the bottom to present our logo as well as our branded header that we have included. Having a tagline included as well is important. That is kind of your tagline or slogan, which will be included under your company name on the platform. It's a great way to just outline that quick synopsis into what you do, as well as the value you provide in terms of your service or product. I would say this is probably the most important section that's going to be outlined on your business page, and that is your about description. So they do provide you with over 2,000 characters to be able to outline a description of your business. I do recommend that businesses keep it between 850 to 1,200 in length, 2 to 3 paragraphs, not too long, not too short. This is a really great way to be able to highlight those core services and differentiators for a really great first impression with your audience. Value-driven verbiage here is really key in keeping, compelling your audience to either visit your page or to also visit your website. Also incorporating relevant keywords for searchability. Actually, these platforms do work like websites these days. Searchability does come down to keywords too. So whether they're the keywords that are in your about description or the keywords that are actually in your contact info, or also your specialties. So specialties are what LinkedIn allows you to go in and list underneath your about description. And these are actually customized. So you can customize them based on keywords that you're even using for your website relative to your services or product. They do allow you to include up to 20 of these. I recommend keeping around outlining at least 8 to 10 on the platform to maximize that searchability as well as visibility on LinkedIn. For the about description, I will mention though, I don't recommend just listing services, ensuring that your core services are included, but also outlining what sets your company apart from those in your industry is really going to be key here in successfully promoting your business when thinking about how you're actually optimizing your page setup. So when people are visiting for the first time, it's really critical to be compelling. So now let's think about company page do's and don'ts. So we're going to talk about content here. And this is probably, this is really the most important element in engaging with your audience on an ongoing basis, especially if you're going to be consistently using your business page to publish content that is relevant to your audience's needs, or if you're outlining your services. I want to be able to kind of give you the core components behind what is going to be successful when it comes to actually publishing content on your business page. So first, you want to definitely think about relevant and valuable content. And what do I mean by that? I mean, it's best to have a well-rounded mix of content on LinkedIn. Diversified posts always equal engaging content. So instead of just posting about your product or services, it's really important to be posting about other things like industry insights and trends that are impacting the market in which you operate in, success stories from either your customers or even success stories with other organizations you've worked with, educational content, educating them on your product or service. That can go a long way as well in connecting with your audience meaningfully. Events and community engagement are a really great way to expand your reach on the platform. It's an opportunity to be able to tag other accounts, as I also outline that here in the list as well. But it's just a really great way to continuously engage with your audience as well as get other people involved in your content and expand your reach and your following over time. Using visuals is really important. I always recommend that every single post has an associated visual, whether it's a branded graphic, whether you're posting about an upcoming event, or if you had attended an event or conference, I recommend that you include pictures from that event and make sure that they're high resolution. Also, a really important component in having a successful content structure to your LinkedIn page is a consistent posting schedule. So, for instance, when we work with our clients, we always have a monthly content calendar to outline those posting dates. So, you can see what days certain posts are going to be going out. It's also a great way to plan ahead and think about when you're going to have upcoming events, and you can even schedule content, on specific days so you can keep things moving consistently. Hashtags. So hashtags, a lot of people ask, what's up with hashtags? Why are they so important? Well, hashtags are actually used for searchability. You can kind of think about it as keywords for each one of your posts. How do I get found outside of just my organic following? This is a really great way to do that without advertising. They're really used for searchability. So keeping them relevant to the topic that you're posting about, or if you have a certain hashtag that you're using in a series of posts, if someone clicks on that, then it gives them kind of a list of all of your content. So that's a really great way to expand the reach of your posts as well as optimize your searchability on your business page. So thinking about tagging accounts, as I had mentioned before, tagging accounts is really essential, especially when you're posting about events or conferences you've attended, or if you're highlighting an employee, because really when you tag someone that's in your network, actually everyone within their connections and network now sees your content. So they'll see your business. So you're really expanding the reach in which your business will be able to, for people to be able to see your company on this platform. It's just a really great way to ensure you're getting as many eyes as possible on your business. Invite connections. I will say this is a really great free tool that LinkedIn offers for all business pages. So anybody who's a page admin of any business page, so if you have employees that are admins, or if you as the owner are just an admin of the page, you're actually allowed up to between 100 to 250 credits each month. And what that means is you can actually invite your profile connections to follow the business page. So you're actually notifying your connections that you're inviting them to follow your business. Gives you an opportunity to grow your following. And that's why today I wanted to ensure that we also talked about profile optimization, because really you can use that and leverage your profile to grow your business audience as well. As a final note about posting and talking about content, I want to talk about employee advocacy. This is really important, especially when you're like first diving into the platform, or if you might notice that your engagement is kind of veering off the scale a little bit. It's important to think about getting your employees engaged with the posts that you're publishing on LinkedIn, whether you're getting them to like, leave a comment, or share it to their network. It can go a long way in growing engagement and getting new audience members involved with your page, and even growing followers, as well as keeping your engagement rate above the platform benchmark. Kind of as a final note as well about posting, when you're publishing content on LinkedIn, I do recommend that businesses post content between 48 to 72 hours. So if you publish a post, I recommend you wait 2 to 3 days before you publish the next post. A single post tends to hit its maximum organic reach within that time frame, and that's actually information directly from LinkedIn. So now let's think about company page don'ts. It's really easy to, it can be easy to publish content in a way that may not be formatted well. And that, I see it often with different businesses on this platform. We've had conversations and even consultation with firms who, needed help and assistance with developing content that was more consistent. So though this is a really fantastic platform to promote your services, it's really essential that you're positioning your business in a meaningful way that makes it easy for your audience to connect with your brand. So engaging with your followers, for instance, if we're outlining the don'ts here, content primarily focused on sales, definitely a big don't when it comes to LinkedIn. Inconsistent brand tone. So I always recommend that you avoid this by ensuring that your messaging is consistent to always maintain that brand recognition and recall. Low quality visuals. Ensuring that your visuals are actually formatted for LinkedIn. You can even do a quick Google search and look up LinkedIn formatting for my posts. And it actually will outline 3 different ones. There's one for landscape, there's one for square posts, and there's also one for portrait as well. So ensuring that you're formatting your graphics for the platform is really important. Inconsistent posting schedules. So as I had mentioned in the dues section, I would recommend that you have a posting schedule so you can avoid posting one time per month or one time per every other month or once a quarter. It's a really great way to just stay on track and just make sure that you're posting on a weekly basis to keep your audience engaged. So definitely avoiding an inconsistent posting schedule is really essential. Improper formatting. This is really easy. It's a really easy thing to kind of mess up. And as I'd mentioned, there's certain formats for every social platform. Facebook's are actually a little bit different than LinkedIn's. So ensuring that all of your formatting for all of your graphics and the pictures that are being updated on the platform are fitting those LinkedIn dimensions. So now I want to provide some examples. I want to talk about a couple examples to give you a visual representation of content that is well formatted on LinkedIn. One is from a client of ours, actually. So Hard Hat Workforce Solutions, they provide construction staffing services. And as you'll see here, this post is directly being pulled from their LinkedIn page. And you'll notice that the graphic, it's well formatted. It incorporates a professional branded graphic while also highlighting their commitment to safety. So it's really a balance of having a really good branded visual as well as an excellent balance of highlighting their services and best practice. So this is really kind of that balance of service and best practice and brand presentation. So, this graphic is using the proper formatting for landscape. And another example that I've outlined here is actually from our own agency. So this post actually incorporates pictures that we had taken of our office to draw an attention to an upcoming open house event that we had at our agency. And it's a really great representation of using pictures to capture attention and also ensuring that the pictures are high quality. And also, if you read the caption, you'll notice it stands out, it's compelling, and it draws in that audience attention that's really important. So let's think about weak content examples. There's various ways you can publish content on LinkedIn that may not resonate well with your audience, whether it's through the formatting of the post and it's not visually appealing, or if the content is just overlong and it's not really expressing your value very well. I want to kind of go through 3 examples today of different ways companies have published content on LinkedIn that just really wasn't hitting the mark as best as I think that they could have. So taking a look here, the post on the left is kind of trying to say too much. So it's really saying too much in a singular post, and it's really focused on sales, but it's not really capturing the value they're providing as a firm. The writing, if you look at it, it's a bit overlong. It's not really compelling. This type of content, it would probably fit better on the About section on the homepage of the business page. But still, as I'd mentioned before, if you're writing your About section, don't just list services, but just remember, it's really about what sets you apart while still making your audience understand what services you do provide as a company. Another example here. So this is an example of kind of how not to repost content on LinkedIn. It's really important that when you're reposting, for instance, if you have an employee who had an achievement in their career and you want to highlight that on your business page, I always recommend adding a few additional sentences. And you can also remove the link. So if you copy and paste a link from a post, you can actually remove that link and it will still keep your post there. So I do recommend always including a couple sentences, whether it's additional sentences on thought leadership on a particular topic, or if you're highlighting and expressing how excited you are for an employee. It just goes a long way in making your content more engaging. And using hashtags, always using hashtags is important as well. So anytime you publish content, unless it's a very serious message that you're trying to convey, or if it's a public release message, I would recommend you maybe don't use hashtags for that. But any other type of content, it's just really great for searchability as well as just overall visibility on LinkedIn. So yeah, that's a really good example there as well. Taking a look at the bottom right, you will notice that this post here is what it's doing is it's highlighting an article that this company had shared on their LinkedIn. LinkedIn does offer you to be able to publish articles or publish blogs on the platform directly, which people can click through and read in full. This is kind of an example of how not to publish articles on LinkedIn. So if you are publishing a blog directly on the platform, I do recommend that you ensure that you're always including an image that's relative to the specific topic, whether it's a stock image, whether it's a high resolution professional shot image that you have from your own business. It's always important to include those visuals. And even when you have this post, so when you're looking at the content in general, you'll notice that they've included just a couple hashtags right above the article. I recommend that you write some actionable insights from the article, whether it's a few sentences, including a couple hashtags. It's just a really great way to draw in attention and drive action that you're looking for in having people read your blogs online. So now let's think about metrics. Let's talk about measuring performance. So this is really a great way to recognize what is actually working and what's not on LinkedIn. So this is where you'll be able to understand where there's room for improvement. And that can really only be found when you're reviewing the performance of your page. So I pulled an example screenshot from our agency's page, including where you can find analytics on LinkedIn. So it is on the dashboard of the admin view. And also, if you have any social media automation tools, you can use those as well to monitor your analytics. But this is a really great way to understand, your follower growth. You can also understand your engagement rate. So engagement rate is your likes, your comments, your shares, then that's divided by your impressions. So what are impressions? Well, impressions are actually how many people are seeing your content on their feed. So a good example to always think about is if one person sees a post and then they see that post again on their timeline, that's counted as 2 impressions. So if you think about, if you get 1,000 impressions in a particular month, you would take all of your engagement and then you would divide it by those impressions, and then you would multiply that by 100, and then you're able to get your overall engagement rate. The platform average is 2%. So if you are, for instance, if you date range your analytics, because you have the opportunity to put a date range in there, you can see that if your average engagement rate is exceeding 2%, then your posts are, they're engaging and that you are successfully implementing well-rounded content on LinkedIn. Another thing that you can also view is your page views. So you can see the traffic that is coming to your LinkedIn page. You can monitor and review how many people are visiting, whether they're visiting from searching for your business on the platform, whether they're visiting from clicking the logo from a post and going to the business page from there, or if they're searching for your business online and they click through and they visit from an online search. This is a really great way to see how many people are actually coming to your business page over time as well. And I do recommend that if you are reviewing analytics and you're measuring performance of your page, like we do for our clients, reviewing on a quarterly basis is really essential. It's a great way to understand and benchmark your performance. You can even benchmark it based on previous quarters. It's just a really excellent way to understand if your presence on LinkedIn is actually picking up any pace. So now that we've covered business pages and we've really covered the organic side of things, let's talk about enhancing personal profile presence. So now we're ready to talk about how you can leverage your personal profile to really drive more traffic to your business. So, this is a really excellent way to grow your professional network as well as getting people to know more about your business. And really, success on LinkedIn starts with an optimal profile and content that strikes a balance between personal and professional achievements. So, people really always want to connect with people who present authenticity and have trust. And, your audience needs to have trust in you. So having content that really strikes that balance is essential. So let's dive into the steps in setting up your personal profile for maximum impact. So personal branding is key. So be sure to meaningfully set yourself apart. Express what makes you, you. So talk about what makes you different, whether it's how you're outlining your profile. So discussing what meaningfully sets you apart. This is really kind of an outline of the settings that you have available on your profile page. So when you're reviewing your current LinkedIn profile, you have the opportunity to write an about section about yourself. You can outline your experience. You can even highlight your skills. So ensuring that all of these are up to date is really important. So for instance, a headline, which is the title that comes below your name on the platform, I recommend that it's more than just your job title. So including your job title and then next to your job title, kind of a creative way to highlight your expertise goes a really long way in just a quick synopsis of who you are before someone learns a little bit more about you when they're reviewing your about section. So detailed summary. Just as the business page, this is a really imperative section of your profile, and it's important to be authentic. And I do recommend that when you're writing your about section on LinkedIn, that you keep it first person. It comes off more personal, it comes off more authentic. And I just recommend keeping it between 2 paragraphs and updating it every year or so in case there's any changes in your career. Updating that on an ongoing basis is really important. Experience. You have the opportunity to highlight all of your experience in your prior roles. You can highlight your current roles, and you can even bullet point, what you had accomplished at other companies as well as what you're doing now in your current employment. You can also, for instance, include skills, highlighting skills that give you a set list you can search. And for instance, a few examples are, I have them listed on my profile: communication, paid media, etc. And what's really nice about skills is that your colleagues actually can visit your profile and endorse these skills. So that, to me, is a really great opportunity to have people see your work with others in your industry. So it's a really great way to get those in your network involved with your page, and it really reinforces that credibility and trust with your audience and connections. Endorsements, these are really kind of recommendations. So you can actually get recommendations and outline, people. So for instance, if you're a business owner and you've had a lot of success with a client and you want them, you want to kind of have a testimonial, you can even reach out to them and see if they'll endorse you or provide a recommendation on your LinkedIn profile. This is a really great way to enhance that credibility. And it's just really good representation of your expertise from real world experience of other professionals in your network. So it's just a really great additional component of the profile that helps you stand out. And for business owners, it's important. It's an opportunity to get those written recommendations and, those who have been satisfied with your services and experience in working with you. So talking about, LinkedIn profile, setting yourself apart through content, this is a really important subject because it's just like businesses. It really does come down to how you're highlighting yourself on the platform, and it's really important that you diversify what you're publishing on LinkedIn. So first, sharing expertise on subjects. That's a great content type, especially if you're using your profile to publish content on an ongoing basis as well. So talking about your expertise or highlighting activities, it really helps reinforce your professional development as well as, providing some prime examples. For instance, other content types could be outlining new certifications, industry-related event attendance, or even career milestones. So I do recommend that if you're using your profile, whether you're a business owner or whether you're an employee of an organization, I recommend reposting company content, always including a few sentences of additional thought leadership, as well as even encouraging comments to keep that conversation going as well. It's a really well-rounded way to keep that engagement at peak levels on the platform. And you can even have the opportunity to feature posts. So if you are featuring posts on LinkedIn, I recommend they're the ones that have the most engagement. So if you have a lot of likes or a lot of comments on a particular post, you can actually click in the top right and you can click feature, and it will allow you to publish that right to your homepage when someone's visiting your profile. Balancing personal and professional development is really important. So there is kind of a fine line, which I'll go through in some examples, between what's, too personal and what's, the balance between using both. So whether it's an achievement in your career or whether it's there's something impacting your industry and how it may be impacting your organization. Transparency is a really great way to build authenticity with your audience, because a human first approach is equal to authenticity. So making your personal brand shine by being someone that others want to connect with based on your valuable perspectives and continuous engagement is important. So let's think about a few strong content examples from personal pages. So I've got a couple here from some influencers on LinkedIn, as well as their business owners, CEOs, but they're really great at publishing a diverse range of content. And for instance, the first one that I have outlined here is actually Alex Chris. He is the president and CEO of PayPal. And he does a great job at capturing industry events that they host, as well as outlining moments from conferences and even sharing industry developments and insights as he works in the tech industry. So excellent type of content to keep in mind if you're thinking about publishing posts relative to your attendance at events or conferences. Another example I have here is Mary Barra. She is the CEO of General Motors, and she does an excellent job at capturing business-related updates and achievements. I recommend visiting her profile sometime, using it for inspiration. She really does diversify, what she's posting, and whether it's information about, Q1 results or information about new technology developments, or even new product launches. So she's really reaching a wide audience, whether they're shareholders, technology enthusiasts, or even those interested in buying a vehicle. LinkedIn Profile Week content examples. I've got a couple viral examples here that I'd like to go through. And this is where there's kind of a fine line between personal and professional. So we'll talk about that real quick. Taking a look at this post here, this is a viral example that a lot of people had talked about for quite some time. And actually, the context of the content is that the CEO had gone through layoffs, and he had actually outlined the personal impact it had on his life, based on the decisions that were made resulting in those layoffs. Many actually criticized this because they said it was more focused on himself rather than it resonating well with those who may have been laid off at the time. So really, there's too personal and there's too much information that you could be publishing out there. So just something to keep in mind if you really are wanting to be more authentic with your audience. I think that there's a really, just as I mentioned, there's kind of that fine line in how you're publishing on your profile. The post on the right, this is actually even more viral. A lot of people actually still use this even as a meme these days. It went viral because it was a sales professional who was using his recent proposal as a lead into B2B sales. So many LinkedIn users kind of found this post to be in poor taste. Therefore, it's kind of a prime example of why it's important to ensure you have personal and professional messaging that resonates with your audience. So it's okay to be transparent, and humanize your content, but taking the time to review how your connections may perceive the content is critical. So now, this is a big subject, one that I'm asked about often when it comes from my clients. I will say this is a subject we could probably talk about in its own hour-long presentation, and that is reaching a wider audience, and that's LinkedIn advertising. There are so many tools available for businesses to be able to expand their reach, and be able to allow their content to be seen by those that are not in their followers, and as well as just really getting their business out there and driving traffic to their website. So I'm ready to kind of pivot now and talk about advertising on LinkedIn. So as I mentioned, there's a lot of layers here, but we're just going to kind of cover one core LinkedIn advertising tactic that is a great way to expand reach on the platform. And it's really the most utilized way it's the most utilized ad type there is in terms of how you can use ads and leverage them to grow your followers as well as drive traffic to your website. So beyond organic reach, using advertising, that's really the point, right? It's to get outside of your current followers, find new targeted, get to a new targeted audience and drive them to your business and have them learn a little bit more about you in hopes to convert them, and convert us into a sale. So I just want to note that we're not technically affiliated with LinkedIn in any way. This is really just what we've observed and has worked well for our clients in enhancing their brand awareness, as well as their web traffic and also traffic to their LinkedIn page. So sponsored content, also known as boosting, is a way that you can actually take a post on your LinkedIn page and push it out there to a wider audience. So what's really nice, what's really great about this is that you have the opportunity to increase the reach of the content that you're publishing organically. And you can also, as I mentioned, it's important to be strategic about this because you want to ensure that you're reaching the right audience, and LinkedIn offers ways for you to select your objective. So you have opportunities to, when you're looking at, and this is all from the settings, when you're looking at LinkedIn ad settings, or if you click the button boost on one of your posts on your business page, all of these that I have outlined here are directly from LinkedIn. So I'll kind of go through them quickly, give you a quick synopsis of what each one means. Drive traffic to your page. Selecting this objective will place your ad in places that will likely have people convert into visiting your business page to learn more. Increase awareness. LinkedIn will automatically put your post in other timelines and feeds to maximize impressions and get as many people to see the post as possible. Getting engagement, it's going to place posts or provide it to people on the platform that are most likely to engage, whether it's leaving a like or leaving a comment or even sharing your post. Getting more leads. Though this would seem like the number one go-to for any type of, if you're running ads, you'd be like, well, I just want to run lead forms. I want immediate lead gen. Well, I will say when it comes to lead gen forms, it's really important that you only run these if you're incentivizing your audience in any way. Audience targeting. So LinkedIn offers you the opportunity to target your audience by location, by industry, job seniority, function, as well as even titles. So you have, being strategic is important here, really understanding who your audience is, making sure that you're reaching them and you're not casting too wide of a net is really key, because if you cast too wide of a net, you may not actually get a qualified audience visiting your page or even resulting in, users that are visiting your website. So one of the final elements that I think is most important when you're doing ads on LinkedIn is LinkedIn Audience Network. The LinkedIn Audience Network is an option that LinkedIn offers, and what it does is it will actually take your post and it will have it show up on websites and other apps that your target audience is visiting. That's that LinkedIn is actually partnered with. So this will actually result in your ads being presented through multiple channels. And I also finally, when running an integrated digital ad campaign, LinkedIn is really an excellent advertising channel. So there's many other opportunities to reach a wider audience, whether you're doing it through social, digital advertising, digital display or over-the-top OTT ads. I do recommend that, keeping LinkedIn in mind if you're running a fully integrated campaign is essential. So let's talk about measuring performance real quick. So just as we had talked about for reviewing your performance on your business page, you can also measure the performance of your ads. And you can go into the LinkedIn Campaign Manager, which they outline when you're looking at your ad. It will have a link that goes directly to the Campaign Manager, and it will allow you to review the performance. And it'll allow you to review performance of, how many impressions it's getting, how many clicks, what your click rate is, cost per mil, which is cost per 1,000 impressions, and even cost per click. So I do recommend that you review your ads on a weekly basis. It's really important to see if you're exceeding benchmarks. An example of a benchmark on LinkedIn is the average single image sponsored click rate is 0.44%. So let's say you have a post and it's a graphic that goes directly to your website. If you're getting clicks that are exceeding the 0.44%, then you are technically exceeding the LinkedIn average benchmark for click rate. So that's a good representation whether your ads are running well or not. Demographic performance. This is a really great tool to review and monitor when you're looking at your ads on the platform, because you can actually see the top 25 companies that are interacting with your ads on LinkedIn. So you can actually review those organizations. You can see if they're companies that you've tried to get in contact with before. It's just a really great way to see if you're reaching your intended audience, as well as it's a sales tool at the end of the day. It's direct lead gen. It gives you the opportunity to reach out to core contacts at these companies, or try to connect with someone on LinkedIn and message them. So that's why I added that to the top of the list. But you're also able to take a look at even things like the industries that you're reaching, the company sizes, function, title, seniority, also location. So you can ensure that the location that you had listed in your targeting settings are reaching the intended location, and even seeing if your ads are reaching the country, region, or even counties that you had your ads settings in for the targeting as well. I know we certainly covered a lot today, but I know I mentioned that we'll have time for questions, so I'm happy to answer any questions anyone has. I know we certainly covered different subjects, but if anybody has any specific questions, I'm more than happy to answer those while we have some time left today.
Yeah, Garrett, I think you may have covered this, but just kind of reiterate, someone wants to know, what frequency do you recommend for posting? Once a week, more?
Yeah, absolutely. So frequency, I would recommend at least 2 posts minimum per week. That's, if whether you're posting towards the beginning of the week, later in the week, I do recommend at least a minimum of 2 posts a week. If not, one is fine. But yeah, two posts are, I would say, is optimal.
Thank you. Any other questions? Boy, really good stuff, Garrett. Really, really good stuff.
I've got a quick question. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
This presentation. If you're an individual employee, so a lot of this had to do with the corporate level account, but then a little bit of the personal. If you have any business development responsibilities at all, should you have LinkedIn Premium, or is that not really that big of a difference?
I would say LinkedIn Premium is a good opportunity to reach out to people through in-mail credits. I will say I've heard that some people don't really get great results from that, and in-mail credits allows you to actually message somebody on LinkedIn before you connect with them. I typically always recommend that you message somebody on LinkedIn if you're already connected with them, or if they decide to connect with you. Other than that, I don't really, I guess, for instance, you also get things like advanced search capabilities. So you can search for more individuals on the platform, and you can also see who is actually visiting your LinkedIn page every day. So if there's any particular prospects that are visiting your LinkedIn, you also have the opportunity to see those accounts as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other questions for Garrett? Let's see. Do you know how to manage your list of employees? We've had a lot of trouble disconnecting employees who are no longer with the company.
Yeah, so I will say if they are, for instance, I'll kind of cover this in 2 ways. So if they're an admin, if we're thinking about them on an admin level, you can remove them as an admin right away, as long as you're the super admin of the page. But if you're thinking about them as they're listing your business as a current employee, there's no direct way that you can remove them as an active employee. I will say LinkedIn they're really great at getting in touch with you. So if you reach out directly and put in a support ticket to LinkedIn, they typically respond within 24 to 48 hours. So I would recommend reaching out to them and let them know that you may have a few employees who are outlining your business, or outlining your business as their current employment. I kind of hope that answers the question. I know there's kind of 2 elements to that, whether they're an admin of the page or whether they're highlighting that that's still their current employment.
What should be the ratio for educational, sales, promotions, that type of thing for posts?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. I would say for postings, I would say a good ratio is that sales is about 30%. I would say for other types of content, I would say it's kind of a 30, I would say it's probably like a 30-70 approach. 30% sales, 70% educational and informative, because really the sales content you can use and leverage in advertising as well. But for educational content, that's really what's going to draw your audience in and continuously keep them engaged, as well as overall your followers will grow over time because your content is valuable. It's always important to have valuable content first rather than focusing on just sales.
Any other questions? We have another minute or two with Garrett. Again, great stuff. What's the easiest way to get a hold of you if somebody thinks of a question later on today? There we go.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. If you'd like to connect or if you have any other questions for me that we weren't able to cover in today's call, please feel free to connect with our agency on LinkedIn and even feel free to connect with me. So if you scan the QR codes here, I'll accept your connection right away. And if you send me a message, I'm always happy to answer those accordingly.
Here at Kuhn Billing and Company, really terrific presentation. I think that, like me, LinkedIn, we kind of dabble a little bit and know a little bit about it, but I think you did a really nice job in giving us an overview of a great way to use it to benefit us. So thank you for your help. Again, connect with Garrett. Happy to do that. Evan Stark, SYM Financial. Thank you, my friend, again for your support of the chamber and for bringing us this virtual seminar series today. We really appreciate you and all that you do. And sbrchamber.com is the website for anything as far as our events go. If you need anything at all from me on the membership side, just reach out to me as well. And man, go enjoy the sunshine home. We have one more quick question here. Steve said, thank you. Great information. Really, really terrific today, Garrett. We appreciate you
Thank you.
very much. And we appreciate your partnership too with the Chamber. Billing's been a great partner for a long time. And Jay and I have been friends. So it's, yeah, really a great session today. So thank you all and enjoy your day. Enjoy the sunshine. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.